Hello there, I'm Nathan. This is your daily dose for today. If you remember last week, we talked about Colossians 1 verses 1 through 8. Today we're going to look at verses 9 through 14. There's a lot of encouragement packed into these verses, so I hope that you will take away some encouragement for yourself and for your life and where you are today. Verse 9 says, "For this reason also, since the day we heard this, we haven't stopped praying for you. We are asking that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding." And Paul is writing this letter from prison. And it's interesting to think about that he's taking time out of his day to pray for the people of this church in Colossae. There's probably a lot of things that invades Paul's mind while he's in prison, but he's choosing to chisel time out of his day to pray for these people. And I just thought that this will be a good opportunity to tell you that your pastors are praying for you. And I know that you are praying for us. And it's encouraging to know that our church is praying for one another. As we are seeking the Lord and as we are praying together, we know that he is listening, that he cares, and that he's answering, and that he's going to walk with us through all of this, and that he's going to be with us on the other side. That's encouraging. That's an encouraging thought. So he says, we haven't stopped praying for you. We are asking that you may be filled with knowledge, wisdom, and spiritual understanding. Those three words that we see there, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And you may think, well, Paul, you're using three words to say the same thing, but I think there's three different identities we need to see there. The first one that I want to talk about is wisdom. Where does wisdom come from? We're talking about godly wisdom. Where does that come from? Well, obviously it comes from God. It comes from his word. It comes from spending time with him. Wisdom comes from a lifetime of spending time walking with God. And as you live your life and as you have experiences and as God brings things into your life as you go through life, then you gain wisdom. And then you can share that with other people, and it's encouraging. So wisdom. And then he talks about the knowledge of his will. To understand the knowledge of his will, I think we need to look at verse 10, the next verse. "So that you may walk worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work, and growing in the knowledge of God." So he says, walk worthy of him. When I think about walking with the Lord, I think about being steady, about a pace, and about consistency. It's important to have a consistent life with God, a consistent time every day that you spend time with him, a consistent prayer life. That should be our goal. We should strive for that. And then to be pleasing to God, to please him. I think about my lovely wife and when she is most pleased with me. And the times when she is most pleased with me is whenever I spend time with her. Whenever I take time out to just focus on her and what she wants and what she needs, that makes her happy. And it's the same way with God. God is most pleased with us and most happy with us when we're spending time with him, when we're walking with him. And then he talks about bearing fruit. I immediately think about Galatians 5, verses 22 through 23, the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, meekness, self-control. I said them really fast in case I missed them or messed them up. Those are guideposts for our lives. Those are things that we can pick out as we move through our lives. Let's say love. That's the first one. So let's say today we're going to focus on love. Love's going to be my thing. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try to be loving to my family. I'm going to be loving to my friends. I'm going to be loving to myself the way that God would want me to be. And as we grow through life, we develop these fruit. These fruit come out of our lives, and that it encourages other people, and people know our walk by those fruit. Spiritual understanding. Bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God. I think to understand what he's talking about with spiritual understanding, we have to look at verse 11. Being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience. we are strengthened according to God's strength. We know that God is all powerful. God has all the power in all the universe, and we need that. If we try to function and work on our own strength, then our strength will fail. But we know that God's strength never does. So as God strengthens us and gives us access to that power, we can endure. So we have endurance and we have patience. This is very practical, isn't it? If you're not facing a major trial right now, which I guess we're all facing a major trial right now, we're going to need the strength of God to get through that and to deal with it. If you try to deal with it on your own, if you try to survive on your own, you're not going to be able to make it. We can survive and we can flourish because of the strength of God. He gives us great endurance and patience. We're learning a lot about patience right now at this moment. God gives us the strength to endure. When those around you are questioning how they're going to make it through a difficulty or how they're going to survive or how they're going to make it through a trial, you can lean on the knowledge of God and His understanding because He's given you that, His wisdom and His strength to endure. So why is God willing to grant us His knowledge, His wisdom? Why does He give us access to those things? That's found in verse 13. He has rescued us from the domain of darkness and transferred us into the kingdom of the Son He loves. Beautiful verse. He's taken us from the darkness and placed us in the light where Jesus is. In Him we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. It's great. We are, that word transferred is very rich in the text. It means resettled or relocated. It means you've been picked up and placed somewhere else. That's what He's done for us. We're in this world. We have to live in this world, but really we're residents of the kingdom of God. That's who we really are. Through the gospel, through our faith in Jesus, He has made us residents of the kingdom. And because of that, we have access to all those benefits that come with being a part of the kingdom. So as you walk through the remainder of this day, as you walk through the rest of this week, maybe take some time to think about how much knowledge, how much understanding and wisdom God has given you. And He's given you that because you are a resident of the kingdom. And He's given you the benefits that come from that. Walk. It's paced. It's steady. Keep your step. Keep going. Because God is going to give you His strength. He is going to help you endure. Keep walking. Keep going. Keep being faithful to Him. And He's going to bless you and give you the strength to endure. I hope that's encouraging to you today. And God bless you. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.